time management skills for me are something that are constantly evolving and have been ever since I started my entrepreneurial journey way back in 2015. And today I am sharing my 5 tips that I have to help you manage your time better as a solopreneur. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chrissy and I help struggling and aspiring product-based businesses launch and grow shops that not only get seen online, but also make money so they can actually see a return on all of the effort they are putting out online. And today we are talking about time management, and it's one of my favorite topics to learn about, but it's the hardest topic for me to actually implement new strategies with. And my time management journey, if you could even call it that, everything's a journey now, I guess has been evolving ever since I first started my entrepreneurial journey in 2015. Now, I am definitely the type of person that thrives on somebody giving me a deadline and giving me kind of benchmarks for when I have to have certain things done. So when I first started working for myself and I was that person that was giving myself deadlines, it became really, really difficult to kind of hold myself accountable to deadlines and also to ensure that I was actually managing my time well throughout the week. So I'm not saying that I started off a total mess and now I'm like this totally evolved person who doesn't procrastinate at all. Absolutely not. I'm still not great at time management, and it's still definitely something that I am constantly working with, but I have learned enough and I have implemented enough that I know if you watch this video and you implement some of the tips that I'm going to share with you, you can definitely kind of make progress towards your time management journey. I think with time management, it's definitely something like you can learn as much as you want, but if you're not going to actually implement it, much like anything in life, really, I guess, if you're not actually going to implement it constantly and make it a habit, you're not actually going to make any progress. So if you do anything after watching this video, make sure you try and implement one of the tips that you've learned if one particularly resonates with you, because you will absolutely see change and growth with your time management skills if you do. So if you are new here and you haven't already, make sure you hit that red button down below and subscribe. I make new videos every week all about turning your passion into your business. Okay, so the first tip that I have for you, and something that it's really difficult to do, but it is the most valuable tip I could probably ever give to you. It's to track your time. And now I'm not talking about just checking out the screen time on your phone, which is a good idea, but also I go back and forth on how much I actually want to kind of like beat myself down about like how much screen time I have, because my job is online and it does require me to be online, but at the same time probably doesn't require me to be online like 7 hours a day. So we got to find a balance there. But when I'm talking about tracking your time, I'm talking about tracking every single little thing. Now, this is something I actually saw my mentor Vanessa Lau talking about. I think she talked about it in a YouTube video, but essentially what she was doing and what her mentor actually had her doing was tracking every single thing she does throughout the day. So she would track when she woke up, what she did when she woke up, what she how long it took her to eat breakfast, and then every single thing that she did throughout the day, she would log it like in half-hour increments or hour increments. So she did this for a week and I did this for a week. And at the end of the week, you look back and you see, what are you actually doing with your day? Are you actually doing things that are moving the needle and actually helping your business grow? Or are you just staying busy for the sake of being busy? So doing this, it was really eye-opening for me, because I found a lot of times I was actually spending way more time being a consumer on Instagram than I was actually doing things to help my personal business grow on Instagram. And at the same time, I also found I was spending a lot of time doing certain tasks. Like personally, I am not a big fan of creating slide decks. They just stress me out. I overthink them. I've created all of them for Planner Boss Academy so far, but going forward, I am going to outsource that because it's something that just eats up so much of my time because I do overanalyze it and I do second guess myself. So it takes way longer than it actually should. So going through this process, like I said, really opened my eyes for one, how was I wasting time throughout the week? And two, what could I take off my plate and have somebody else do to save me time, energy, and also stress? So my first tip for you is to track your time. Get out a notebook, get out a Google Doc, whatever kind of makes more sense to you, even like the Notes app on your phone, and keep track for an entire week of every single little thing that you do throughout the day in half-hour increments or hour increments, 15 minutes, whatever you really need. Keep track of that. And I know it sounds really, really tedious, but when you look back, you will be blown away by how much time you're actually wasting. Or you might realize, wait, I actually am being super productive and I need to be less harsh on myself. Now, the second tip I have for you is something that I found I waste a lot of time doing is coming up with ideas and kind of envisioning where I want my business to go. And instead of having set times where I would do this and when I would do like research and kind of like those deep dives and thinking about where I want my business to go, I've started writing every single little thing down. Now, this is my Moxie Life notebook. I am absolutely obsessed with them. They smell like new books from school. I love them so much. They're on their website if you want to check them out. I write every single little thing down. Now, I used to write it in a notes app on my phone, but I find I get a lot more detail out when I put pen to paper, and I'm sure there are a lot of planner people watching here, so I'm sure you are the same way. But I write every single little thing down. If I have even a little nugget of an idea for a video, it's going in my notebook. Big ideas for the future of my business, it's going in my notebook. So when it comes time to either think of content ideas or map out the next few months within my business, I go back to this notebook because I know that I get my best ideas when I'm not trying to force them out of me. So I'm not wasting time kind of stressing my brain out trying to get those ideas out because they're already in here. So do yourself a favor, grab yourself a notebook, a notes app on your phone, whatever works for you, and start writing every single little thing down. And trust me when I say, no idea that you will have while doing this process is ever going to be stupid. You can write something down that seems totally like out of reach for you or totally like, why am I even thinking about this right now? Write it down because you never know when that idea is going to be useful and when you might actually be able to make it happen. So write absolutely everything down. Now, my third tip for you is kind of going on from that second tip, and it's to get out of your own head. Now, a lot of times when I am trying to get things done and I'm trying to stay super productive and organized, I am met with something that might make me feel a little bit uncomfortable. So it might be something, maybe I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Maybe I'm just working on something that's like really difficult for me and something that usually takes me a lot of time. And I've actually found that when these moments happen, I find myself wanting to procrastinate because I want to avoid that uncomfortable feeling. But I've really had to do a lot of work lately, and I still have to do a lot of this work. And this is something that's constant in not allowing myself to pull myself out of that zone that I'm in and not allowing myself to procrastinate and just pushing through that uncomfortable feeling. So this all goes back to limiting beliefs and self-doubt for me, and it might for you too. But if you find that you're working on something and it's just not working the way that you want it to work, or you're trying something new and you're just feeling really nervous about it, realize what those emotional cues are in your brain that might be pulling you into procrastination and do the work to consciously combat those thoughts, because you will save so much time when you stop procrastinating. Personally, for me, that is a huge struggle for me. So knowing those emotional cues and working myself out of them has started to save me a lot more time. Now, the fourth tip that I have for you is to be realistic with what you can actually get done in a certain amount of time. Now, in the past, I used to have a personal to-do list and a work to-do list, and I would kind of check them off individually, and I would never blend them together. And this is something that I found never really worked for me, because I would have this work to-do list that would be a mile long, but then I'd be also working on a home to-do list that would also be a mile long, and I can't get both mile-long to-do lists done in the same day. So one was automatically going to suffer. But what I've started doing is I've actually started combining my work to-do list and my personal to-do list in the same planner, so that when I'm looking at the day, I can see exactly what I actually have to get done for my life as a whole, because my work is at home. So I don't have to separate them like that. So for me, combining those to-do lists has really, really helped. And also, again, getting out of my own head and being honest with myself about how much I can actually get done has done wonders for me. And again, doing that analysis and that time tracking in the beginning that I talked about in my tip number 1 will really, really help you kind of realize how much you can actually get done in a certain day. Now, my fifth tip that I have for you is to batch your work. Now, I am still working on batching my whole content creation strategy, and I've actually joined Amanda Warfield's, I believe it's Content Batching Bootcamp or Content Creation Bootcamp or something like that, in March, so I can become better at this and repurposing content, all of that fun stuff. But batching is something that you can actually implement into your life in like every area. So I used to batch a lot in my planner shop when I had it, and it saved me so much time. So the idea behind batching is that your brain actually works best when you're focusing on one task at a time. So for example, right now I'm focusing on filming, and I'm filming 3 videos today. But if, for example, I was to film this video, I was to edit this video, I was to create the thumbnail for this video, and then I was to go back and start filming, editing thumbnail for video 2, that wouldn't be a great use of my time compared to batching my filming, batching the editing, batching the thumbnails, and all of that stuff. Now, I don't do my own editing, so that's a weird example, but you get the general idea. So batching is awesome in the fact that you can just zone in on one task at a time. So within my planner shop, what I would do is I would set certain days or certain time frames to do specific tasks. So for example, I would look at emails between 9 and 10, and then I would have, say, a design day. So I would design all day from 10 until 4. I mean, I would take breaks in between then because your brain can't stay focused for that long. But Monday, for example, would be totally focused on designing. I wouldn't touch orders. I wouldn't ship anything out. I wouldn't do customer service. I wouldn't do anything like that. Then on Tuesday, maybe it was my content creation day. So I would create all of my content on Tuesday. Maybe Wednesday would be my order printing day. Now, this is something that really, really helped me, is batching printing my orders. So I used ShipStation within my planner shop, and you can create pick lists within ShipStation for processing your orders. I actually have a video on this, everything you need to start a planner shop, so I will leave that linked up here. But I would batch print my orders because that took so much time. Then the next day, I would batch cut my orders. The next day, batch package my orders, and then I would ship them, and so on and so forth. So you can see the general idea that I wasn't pulling myself from one task to another throughout the day because I knew it just wasn't productive. So you can absolutely bring this batch scheduling into your planner shop life or your business life, whatever type of business you run, and it will save you so much time and also stress, because you know that you are not focusing on orders today. You are going to get to them tomorrow, and you're not stressing about when you're actually going to get orders out. So those are my 5 tips on how you can start improving your time management within your business. Let me know in a comment down below if you are going to try out any of these strategies, if you already use some of these strategies during your week. I would love to know. Let me know in a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next week.